Hi, my name's Rhett Butler, and I want to thank you for purchasing the Physics of Acoustics. I also want to welcome you to our video guitar lesson. When I was recording my CD, a friend of mine said to me, because my style is very visual, that I should have a video on the CD itself. And I said, well, if we're going to do a video, we should do an instructional video so I can share with my audience or my fans some of the techniques that I use when I play the songs. This particular tune I'm playing is a tune that's called The Kid from Kilkenny, which is actually from my Solitaire CD, so it's almost like you're getting a bonus track with this. What I want to do is I want to start with, first of all, the tuning that I'm playing in. When you're playing in this style, tapping on the neck on the acoustic guitar, it becomes necessary sometimes to play in what are called open tunings. In other words, when you strum the strings, you're already in a certain key or a chord. It's tuned to a chord. In this case, I'm in the key of A, and the notes are as follows: D on the low string, A, E, E, A, E. Again, D, A, E, E, A, E. Okay? So I use different tunings for other songs. This particular song is in the key of A. We're going to start with the left hand. And what I'm going to do is show you some simple patterns that you can use to exercise your fingers so you can get the technique down. We're lucky as guitar players that our left hand is already very trained, so we don't have to work too much at this. It's basically a pattern of hammer-on and pull-offs. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start on fret number 5 on the what is tuned to the A string. It's usually the B string, but it's tuned to A right now. And we're just a simple hammer on it. It looks like this. It's just easy. Hammer. Very good. And it's going to be a hammer-hammer-pull pattern. So hammer with the first, hammer with your third finger on the 7th fret, and then pull off. And so it looks like this. And of course, you can move it up and down the neck and figure out what, where the notes in this key are. So you can go like this. This is a simple pattern you can do. All the time, it's just a hammer-hammer-pull pattern. That's pretty. Anyway, so that's something you can play with. I'm gonna play you the melody for the song. It goes like this. Starts on the 7th fret with the 3rd finger. I'm gonna do it slower. And again. So you notice that I'm also using the G string, which is tuned to E, at some points during the song, so the melody sounds like this again. 7th fret. Okay, so once you learn that melody, you can learn to play it faster, obviously. Okay, and of course you can take your own, you can experiment on your own and obviously make new melodies of your own. You can also skip strings or skip to different strings using different fingers. So if I were to play this, I'm using my pinky to go to the next string, which is the higher string. Of course, I can also go to the E string as well, the lower E string. And you can experiment and just come up with different patterns or different melodies of your own. So we have this part, the melody, one more time. and now let's move on to the second part. The next part I want to talk about is in the right hand. Now this is the hand that's going to take a little bit more training. Even though the chords that I'm playing are fairly simple, we're not used to using, our guitar players aren't used to using their right hand on the neck. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to work out a little bit. And what you're going to have to work at is learning how to control the sound from the guitar, because the acoustic guitar is just that very acoustic. You can, everywhere I hit the guitar, you can hear it. And so there's a lot of sound that can come out of the instrument. You have to learn how to control it. And a big part of that is with the right hand, especially when you're playing on the low strings, because they have a tendency to rattle or vibrate a lot. So let's start. The song is in the key of A, and so that's going to be on the 7th fret because it goes D, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. A is on the 7th fret. So here's how it's going to work in the bass. When we play the bass, our thumb is going to rest on the back of the neck just lightly. And when we play the notes, we're not going to hit the notes. We're not going to hit it. What we're going to do is we're going to squeeze it. You're going to squeeze the note. Okay? When I play, I like to, instead of just playing with one finger like this, I like to use 2 fingers and reinforce my first finger with my second finger just by touching it there. That way it gives me a little more control. And I can just squeeze the back of the neck and play the note. Remember, we don't want to attack the note in the middle of the fret. You want to attack it in the front of the fret so you can use the fatty part of your first finger as kind of a mute to help control sound. I'll show you the difference. This is in the middle of the fret with all the rattle. Listen again. This is in the front of the fret. So you can tell it's a much more controlled sound. It takes a little bit of work to learn how to just the right speed to squeeze the note and how to mute it. But let's go through the bass pattern. And I'm playing the 2 strings at the same time with the 1 finger. It goes like this. A on the 7th fret. It's a nice little kind of sweep. I call it a sweep, where you sweep the strings onto the open strings. So it goes like this. A, sweep to D, A, sweep to D, A, sweep to D. Now it's going to go to an E chord here on the 2nd fret. Then it's going to have an inversion of an E chord, which is a G sharp and an E on the 6th fret. You're going to have to split your fingers using your first finger here on the 6th fret of the E string and your middle finger on the 7th fret of the next string down. So it sounds like this. Here we go again. A, sweep to D, A, D, A, D, E, inversion of E, then again. Remember, once again, we want to squeeze the notes. We don't want to attack the notes too hard and hit them. So what happens is, if you're going to learn a song like this, the first thing I would do is I would learn the parts individually. So start with your left hand, obviously, and learn the melody. That's where you have it. Learn the chords all the way through. I would just learn the main theme to the song, which sounds like this. And then there goes into some other parts, and that's what I want to discuss now. Some of the other melodic ideas that I came up with, some other things you can do. There's a part in about the middle of the song where I go into a melody line that is played in octaves, using just a hammer pull pattern, which sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is I'm just using my middle and 3rd finger, and I'm hitting the E string and the G string. Of course, the G string is tuned to E now, but on the 7th fret, pull off. 5th fret, pull off. 4th fret, pull off. 2nd fret, pull off. And so on, so it sounds like this one more time. And then basically I'm going to use the same bass pattern with that melody. It sounds like this. And it goes on from there with another variation on that melody. So what you do is you work out each part individually, I think, and if you can put them together, then I think you really get some magic, and the magic will sound like this.